Back, jump shot, got it. Shea Splendor on full display here in Game 2.
What's up, everyone, and welcome into the Game 3 preview here. Series tied up 1-1. OKC winning the last game in dominant fashion. We're just about 30 minutes out or so from tip-off. And I really wanted to take this Game 3 preview to, we've talked about all the things I'm going to talk about tonight again, but I just want to reiterate them because it's so important if Indiana wants to have a chance to, stay in this series because, while the series is tied up at one apiece, right? OKC has dominated for every minute except two, right? And obviously in game one, they led for 0.3 of a second, the Pacers, which was just enough to win on that miraculous Tyrese Haliburton shot. But pretty much for the most part, OKC has dominated this series, as we expected. And it's actually not so much that they've dominated. Obviously, they've done a fantastic job of getting rid of Tyrese Haliburton, doubling him, taking him out of the play. But I think that this could be a closer series if Indiana would, if Haliburton would trust himself to maybe handle the ball a little bit more in that double coverage, right? Because I've talked about this countless times, but when Halliburton scores 20 or more points, and he also brings the 10 plus assists, and the Pacers are like 7-1 when he scores 20 points in these playoffs because those assist numbers rise with him, right? He's one of the players where he's unable to separate the scoring numbers and the playmaking numbers. So you have games where if he scores sort of below 20, right, his assists drop and he can't get others involved. And obviously he scored, 17 points in game two. But, a lot of those came in garbage time after OKC really stopped playing defense. And for the first three quarters, he had like 4 points or something. So, like, that's unacceptable if you are the face of this team. Like, I know he's not your traditional superstar scoring. He's never going to have the same numbers as Shea. But you have to find a way, if you're Tyrese Haliburton, to get into the paint, to make the defenders react to you instead of basically pre-guessing where you're going to pass the ball to and already beating your pass to the ball, right? It's impossible for your teammates, if you're Tyrese Haliburton, to get up good shots if they already know you're going to get the ball, right? Tyrese Haliburton, he's passing the ball up before they've even really gotten into a sort of a play into the possession, right? Before they've even run a screen or anything, the double comes and he gets rid of it so quickly that the OKC defense has time to get back, right? Tyrese Haliburton, I think he needs to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, right? The Pacers love the quick possessions, but it's not working. I think they need to hold on to the ball longer, try and set multiple screens, get him into the paint, and make OKC stop guarding you with double teams, right? You have to make him go one-on-one. That way Tyrese Haliburton has a chance. Because without Tyrese Haliburton, there is no way that the Pacers are going to even win another game, right? I don't have them winning another game at this rate unless I see something different in this game. I mean, if they win this game and it goes back to OKC 2-2, it's a different story. But if they win this game, if they lose this game, and it was because of Tyrese Haliburton's lack of aggressiveness, then yeah, I'm having them close it out in 5. As for the Thunder side of this, I think the Pacers, or one more thing on the Pacers have scored 60 plus points in both games, right? Obviously in game 2, I think it was a little bit different with the Thunder sort of shutting it down. But the Thunder usually, or at least for pretty much the entire season, would have these close first halves and then turn it on defensively in the second half. And it'd be like a close game at halftime. And then by the end of the third quarter, it'd be a blowout because that defense would just, run away with it. But I give the Pacers credit, right? the Thunder have not done a great job converting on these turnovers. They've actually done a pretty bad job. The Pacers have done a great job defending these, uh, basically forcing missed shots, and done a great job on the transition side of it. But they've done a pretty terrible job in terms of guarding SGA. And here's the biggest thing I'm noticing. OKC, they set these flat screens. And by a flat screen, I mean Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren. They come up and they don't set a screen for SGA to go either right or left. They set it straight on the defender, and then SGA can pick which direction. And when he picks a direction, the screen can just sort of slightly move their shoulders like this to set a screen for that correct direction. And then, Shai has the guy on his hip, and it's an easy layup, right? Because once the guy's on SGA's hip, it's pretty much game over. But I think what's happening is the Pacer defenders, they are sort of basically preactively guessing which way SGA is going to go. And SGA just waits and goes the other way, and you have no chance. The Pacers, they need to sort of stop guessing and just be calm, be patient, wait for SGA to make the first move. If he wants to, just step back and take a three behind the screen, you have to live with that, right? You have to live with, his 30%, 3-point shooting. I know it's not, it's been better in these playoffs, but overall for most of the season, right? It hasn't been a great. That's one of his weaknesses, right? He's not a great 3-point shooter. So you have to, live on that. Like if they're gonna beat you on taking threes, OKC, then yeah, they've absolutely destroyed you because they've gotten the defensive side, they've gotten the mid range, they've gotten the three on you. There's nothing you can do. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the Pacers can win the 3-point battle, especially with their great perimeter shooting, which has worked for them in both games, right? The corner shooting, getting open threes, right? I would say that's OKC's weakest link. So if the Pacers, they have to continue to get shots, but the defense, you have to double Shai, you have to be calm, you have to be patient. You cannot let SGA dictate whatever he wants, right? And he's a great scorer. I would say probably maybe number one, number two best scorer in the game right now. Right? If he's on a historic run, right? You win MVP, you win scoring title, and then if you win this series, you win Finals MVP as well. Most likely, I mean, it's almost 100% guaranteed that SGA would win MVP. Like he's fantastic. He's gonna get where he wants. A lot of times, but you have to live with the three. You cannot live with the contested mid range because that's SGA's money shot. He makes those whether they're contested or not. So you cannot let him get downhill. Let him take deep mid ranges and threes and let his teammates control this game, right? Make him become a passer, make him give the ball up. That's how you win this game. That's how you win all these games, right? It's not obviously it's you have to defend and you got to limit your turnovers, but the Thunder, they're gonna force 15 turnovers every game. That's just what they do. You can't avoid that, right? The Pacers did a much better job in Game 2 of limiting turnovers, right? In Game 1 they had 26 or something. In Game 2 they just had 15, and in Game 2 you got blown out by, it was almost 20 or so, and then obviously the Pacers sort of come back a little bit. Right? I'm actually surprised that the Pacers or Rick Carlisle pulled his starters so early in that game. I feel like, obviously that game was pretty much out of reach, but you never know with this Pacers team, given how clutch they've been down the stretch. Like, you keep them in, maybe they get this game to with one or two, or maybe like 5 or 6. You get OKC nervous and they start to make mistakes and they help you out, right? Like, I was surprised that he pulled his starters so early in that one. But as for this one, we are gonna wrap it up here, right? I'm looking for can Tyrese Haliburton get into the paint and dictate the offense himself instead of passing it up and just sitting in the corner waiting for his teammates to do most of the work, right? You also need a much better job scoring from Pascal Siakam, right? You cannot have OKC. OKC cannot have the three best players on the court, right? They're going to have Shai, but the Pacers have to have Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton, not specifically in that order, but 2 and 3, right? And then you can have Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams 3 and 4. But you cannot have the Thunder getting the top 2 or the top 3. Like, it just cannot happen like that. You have to show up, Tyrese Haliburton. I don't care that you are one of those guys that is a pass first guy. You cannot win with that style of play. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Obviously, we will be live after the game tonight. We will also have probably we'll have a live podcast episode on the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, knee injury, Kristaps Porzingis extension possibilities, Drew Holiday trade, all of that tomorrow night around 8 o'clock or so. So tune in for that. And yeah, I'll see you tonight in the live postgame show.
It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured.